In today's episode, we will talk about friendships. I think it is a topic that is not questioned very often, but it is super important. I want to talk about what an ideal friendship looks like. And this may be different for many, but I will talk about what I think we should look for in a friendship, or what I look for in a friendship. You may totally disagree with what I am going to share in this episode, as we are all at different times and processes in our lives. So maybe the type of friendship that I say in this episode, I don't know, something that you want or don't agree with, or I don't know. I hope it also helps you question yourself. What do you want in a friendship? It's happened to me lately that the friendships I used to have no longer fit into my life. We just don't do much anymore. And it's hard because now that I'm 23, I don't want the same things I wanted when I was a teenager. When a teenager wants to have a good time, laugh and do pure nonsense, and now in this part of my life, at least I, who may be like an old woman, but what I want and look for now in a friendship is to grow with someone, to have someone who contributes to your life. I'm going to name 6 things that I think a good, long-lasting, quality friendship should have in your life. Or the qualities that a person must have for it to be a positive friendship. Obviously, knowing that nothing lasts forever and that friendships and relationships with other people are different for each stage of your life. Number 1, that positively influences your life, that inspires you to be better. I feel this is essential. I believe that a friendship should motivate or inspire you to grow and be better. Because having a good time, okay, it's part of it. It's like I hate having a good time with this friendship, but there is nothing better than a person who brings you their own world and shares it with you. Its way of being, and that motivates you to be better, that influences your way of seeing life and experiencing life, and that empowers you in those things that you could improve. That's it, simple. The truth is, I think there is nothing better than someone who contributes to you and makes you richer as a person. Or have you been rich? No, it makes you rich in personality, mind, spirit, life, everything. Number 2, a person with self-love who knows themselves and knows what they want in life. The truth is that I can't trust a person if they don't love themselves or don't know themselves. Because a person who doesn't love himself is not trustworthy at all. Because for me, he is already an unstable person. Unfortunately, you can't count on them. I was an insecure person who didn't know himself and didn't know what he wanted. And it really was a disaster, and I look back and wonder how my friends at the time were my friends and how I had a philologist too. But hey, it is still understood that when one is insecure, we all go through the process of not wanting to be insecure and not knowing what one wants. One attracts the same people. So obviously at that moment my people, my friends, and my philologist and everything also had insecurities. They didn't know who they were and they didn't know each other, so it's understandable. But now in this stage of my life I know who I am, I know what I want, and I have self-love. I can't be with a person who doesn't love me. It's complicated, it's difficult, it's terrible. Because imagine, one day you feel super good, you feel like you want to shine, and I don't know, something good happened to you and you are happy for life, looking back on your dreams, and suddenly you get together with someone who is the complete opposite. When they see you good and happy and completely abundant, that person is going to have their insecurities come out, and that is something super unpleasant. And each one is in their process. I also lived that process of insecurity. I think it is necessary that we all live it. We all go through that. I think that if you told me that you were never insecure in your life, I would think that you were lying to me, because I think that is part of our life as human beings. But well, each one is in their process, and I, at least in this process in my life, I can't with people who don't love me, because a person who doesn't love themselves is not going to be able to love you. That's it, simple. You can't expect someone to love you if that person doesn't love themselves first. Number 3, share the same values and principles. It is essential that someone shares this with you, because if not, you are fooling yourself or settling for the minimum. For example, one of my most absurd values that comes to mind right now is not breaking plants or flowers, not mistreating life out of unconsciousness. For example, yelling at a dog just because, or yelling at a person because you felt like it, treating evil, etc. Since I am a person who appreciates life a lot and thinks that plants, flowers have life and feel, so I can't get there and, for example, start tearing up the grass because I have anxiety, or take out a flower and start tearing it off because I half want it. The truth is that I don't know When I see someone doing that, I see it as a red flag. I'm not that big on the subject of plants either because there are criteria. I mean, for example, I have a planter here in my apartment next to my room and it is small, and I have a bush that is quite big, and once a year I have to prune it because if it doesn't grow a lot and it can start to fall or break with the window because it really grows a lot, then in that case it's fine, but it hurts because I think it must hurt. I'm not very in favor of cutting off nature, but you understand. For example, I don't know, the grass is long, you have to cut it because if it doesn't appear in mouse, that's fine, you have to cut it and so on. Things like that. Or I don't know how to eat vegetables, greens, fruits, and things like that. I also understand why you have to eat, and it's part of nature, and nature is made so that you can eat those things. What I'm going for is like that unconsciousness of destroying something that is life to destroy. You don't even think about it, you just do it. For me that's something ugly. I don't like it. No, I like it. I respect nature and everyone, nature in every sense, humans, animals, plants, etc. So when someone goes and it's not like that, for me it's like they no longer share the same values and I can no longer trust you. Simply because if you are like that with a little plant, with a dog, with whatever, I can expect from you as a friend. I don't know, that's my opinion, you can totally disagree with me. I'm kind of strange in my things, but, I mean, someone might. I agree. Number 4, be an open-minded person. There is something that bothers me a lot, and it is people who are closed-minded or who try to convince you of what they believe by force. And look, it's okay, everyone has their own ideas, beliefs, thoughts, lifestyle, etc. But I love being able to talk openly about any topic and for everything to be a yes and a no at the same time. That is, being open to any new idea and being able to talk and discuss what one thinks and go crazy with the topics of conversation. But there is nothing more uncomfortable and annoying than a person who, for example, you are sharing a way of thinking, something that is totally yours, and that person feels identified with their beliefs. That is, they take it as their identity. So when you say something that is not in line with their identity, which is their way of thinking or a belief, etc., they take it as a personal attack and they feel that they have to defend themselves even though you may not even be attacking them and you are not saying, hey, I like it there, I don't know a lot, watching cute animated movies, and the other person, yes, like me, they charge me with cute animated movies. That is, why do you like it or what's up? Just talk and you listen to me. This has nothing to do with you. I'm telling you something that I like. So these types of people make it very, very difficult to talk. Or for example, those people who think they know everything and try to forcefully give you advice, correct you in everything you say, and in the end it doesn't let you be free to express yourself or share who you are. Because every time you talk about things you already have, your own experience and your way of thinking, the other person is seeing it as being wrong, so they try to correct you. 17. No, but look, you know what you are doing is wrong, and let me correct you there because this is like this is like that. How annoying. Well, how annoying. I really am a person who respects and does not judge others. I can't say that I'm perfect. We all make mistakes at some point. The other day there was a TikTok of a person who said no one likes to be woken up, and this can cover different things in life. For example, in the process of life, when one is growing and maturing, or is changing and learning, we are all constantly changing and learning, and some are more advanced than others in certain aspects. Then there are people who have their best intentions. Even that can happen to you too, that you have the best intentions of helping that person and you see, hey, I could help him with this advice. It happened to me too. I'm going to tell him this. But you have to have enough empathy and awareness to see that person and understand him. Accept him and say, you know what, I'm going to respect his process, because this person needs to go through that situation on his own. As much as I want to help him, as much as I want to tell him everything, my advice and all the things that I know may be completely right, but you have to realize when the other person is prepared to listen, and you don't have to make your friend feel bad at that moment. I think the best thing is to have empathy, understand it and accept it as it is, even though you don't agree, and it really bothers me a lot. I have come across people who are like super spiritual and just like, I don't know, like hippies who think they have known, they have discovered the wisdom of life, and they come like teaching you, and everything you do is wrong, and it bothers me because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Among you I am a person, I do not consider myself as spiritual, just as if it were a religion. I am spiritual but of life, that is, I live from the feeling that we are spiritual beings. but I don't take it as much as, I don't know, I don't take it as much as the hippie, like that stereotype of being spiritual. So when I talk to this type of person who has already based me on several times, no I know, I'm clean, because you bathe, I use soap, I use shampoo, I like perfume, I like to buy clothes, I like technology, I like those things, cool movies, you must occasionally eat chips, things like that. So when you go and share with these people who are like super idealized with spirituality and their way of life, they will have their lifestyle, but they kind of try to tell you that what you are doing is wrong, and they sell you their whole way of being and their choice of life, and they make you feel uncomfortable because you know what you're doing and you know that you like it and you chose to wear that cool thing and you don't want to be a hippie who's past Alan, so don't come to me and with your things. You chose your Patty why Pat a life. And I chose this for myself and my life. Respect me, accept me. I'm not telling you anything about why you're past Alan and that you look cochin, or I'm not telling you anything. I'm not waiting. I'm not telling you, hey, go take a bath, get paid for it. No, why do I accept you? Because I understand that it is something that you chose, and consciously or unconsciously I accept you and I don't judge you. It's your thing and I don't get involved in that. I don't know, you understand me, there are people like that in different aspects of knowledge issues, etc. I believe that if you want to teach someone to support them at some stage of their life, I believe that you have to do it in a respectful way towards the other person. For example, it happens that I have friends who are sometimes very depressed and they tell me about their things and I listen carefully to everything they tell me and I feel, hey, I think that if I tell him this it could help him in his process, but before I arrive and start telling him my advice and maybe pick him up, I ask him the question, hey, can you give me permission to give you some advice, or hey, would you like me to give you my opinion? I ask your permission. Because if not, you might be telling him a lot of things that maybe they are bothered or close to telling you their things the next time. I ask them that question and I realize the shot with their answer if they really want help or not. That maybe they just wanted to vent. When I ask this question, if they say to me like yes please, or they say yes please and they start to settle in as well as to listen to me, then I realize that they really need help and want advice from me, that they expected advice from me, and otherwise sometimes maybe for other people it is not so easy to realize these things. But it's human language. That is, it's body language. I don't know. For me it's super easy to notice when someone is uncomfortable or doesn't want to listen to you, or you're not listening to yourself. And when I don't want advice, maybe they'll tell you like that, or well, and they'll make a face, I don't know yet. A body gesture that will communicate to you that that person doesn't want advice from you, and then you just don't give it. Maybe that person doesn't want help, they're not there prepared, but well, I already went off on a loop on this topic, but I don't even remember what it was about. Being open-minded. Yes, well friends, please, I think it is super important to be open-minded. There will be talking about every topic and nourishing yourself, because the truth is who I have had is to talk about anything with anyone and not feel so identified with what you believe and not defend it so much, because you do not take what you believe so seriously. What you think is a grain of sand in the entire universe of truth. Number 5. One person with ambition and a good heart. I mean someone who pursues something in his life, who wants something from life, and this can be anything. The truth is that we all want different things, so it doesn't matter what you want in life. But I find that it is something admirable about someone who knows what he wants, who is ambitious. That is, he is not going to settle for the minimum, and that apart from knowing what he wants, he goes after what he wants. That is, he is not a person who says, I would love this, that other thing, and does nothing to really achieve it. Even though that dream or what you want is very far away, you can start by simply changing your mentality, changing your lifestyle, or doing things to one day reach what you want. Also, a person with a good heart, I mean someone who is truly a grandmother, who has good intentions for you with the world, life, etc. And for example, if at some point things go well for you or you have some success, you share it with this person who feels genuinely happy for you, who is happy with you and who supports you, who gives you love, affection and the best intentions, the best wishes. Even though I don't agree with you about something or I don't know, but they have the best intentions for your life and for the world in general. And the last, number 6, is a person who is constantly learning new things. I think this is essential because with these people you can talk about everything and even talk about things that you are never questioned, because everyone has their own interests, and someone who reads art, for example, or who researches or drinks from topics that they like is great. It's great. It's wonderful because when you get together with that person they can share everything they have learned and you also share with him what you have learned. I love people who have a mentality of learning about anything, even if it is something small. I love people who see life as true learning. I have a friend who only maintained that friendship or started that friendship just because he wanted to learn and it was evident. Having someone who wants to learn from you or from life and who is willing to open their mind also goes hand in hand with that. I know that there are many more things that I could talk about positive qualities in a friendship, and obviously there is also trust in a friendship, but trust is something that is built over time. It is not something quick to build trust in a friendship. There you just have to be patient and give it time. At this moment I am waiting to obtain a friendship with all those qualities ready, and they come to contribute to you, they come to accompany you in your growth and in your process of evolution, and obviously one can have friends of all kinds. In this episode 1 I'm referring to real friends, those friends that you call friends, and obviously you can have friends of all kinds. They're friends for I don't know, friends for convenience, that friend that you were like sports and going out into nature, and just when you want to go out in nature and just when you want to go out in nature you already call that friend, but in other situations not. And so in different things in life there are friends for all types, for all people, for all processes, and there are also friends who are like family. Those friends who do not matter at what point in life they are still going to stay together because they are family no matter what happens, because the love and affection and trust that exists in that friendship is lasting. We must also be clear that it is inevitable to change. We must normalize ending friendships that no longer serve. The best example that I can think of is that when you grow up you have to change from a shell to a bigger shell, and the truth is that it is difficult to give up a friendship that you built and created trust and affection. It is complicated, the truth is that it is difficult, but it is necessary, and I think you have to take it as something supernatural and normal, not to feel guilty or bad for that. I already went through that stage recently, the truth is, but it is important to understand it in this way, that as you grow you change and need different things. You have to accept the process of change, and although be painful and sad, the good thing is it is better to remember the positive things and wish the best for the other person, maybe see less of that person and nothing, move on, wish them the best. I think that every time someone says yes to you, instead of giving up on yourself and settling for what no longer serves you or that does not bring you, when you say yes to you, to your evolution, do better to be better. I swear that life tells you how, and I demolished everything good. I demolished, I don't know, happiness, new people, new opportunities, and so true in my experience. Every time that you put yourself on a pedestal, many good things come. It is difficult, but you have to live those processes. They are necessary, but it is important that every time you make these decisions you put yourself on a pedestal. You put yourself first, even though the path ahead may be unknown or you are afraid of being alone. I think it is best to invest in one if you are alone and you are left alone and you have no friends, or that this is your best friend, because you will always find moments in which you will be alone. There will always come a moment where you only have yourself, so keep that in mind, because friendships are fundamental in our life. They are necessary for us to be happy so that we evolve, and I don't know how to live life, but they are not something that can replace your relationship with you or you as a person. So that was today's episode 1. Hope you liked it as much as I do. I really like this. The truth is that talking with you is free speech, that you can also get to know me a little more if you don't know me and it's the first time that you are listening to me. I have my YouTube channel in case you wanted to follow me there or see my videos there. I record my life, my growth. I make blogs and self-help videos, tips, etc. in case you want to go see us. We listen to each other and we talk in a next episode 1. Hope it goes extremely well for you. I send you a gigantic hug. I wish you the best. Bye bye.